Hello and welcome back, everyone, as we're preparing for our second series of the day. Team Liquid Academy versus FlyQuest Academy, with a lot of playoff contention on the line still, at least for one of these teams. Cubby, talk to me about what's on the line as we're looking at two of the top teams in Academy right now. FlyQuest in first, Team Liquid in third.
Well, I mean, first off, right off the bat, we have FlyQuest making roster changes. If you guys weren't checking Twitter earlier, it is a swap between mid-jungle duos, so NXI and Triple. Valiant effort from them on the LCS stage, but still people that are developing for FlyQuest, so they're going to be slotted now back in Academy. Palafox and Jose Diodo, who were smurfing in Academy, they went 4-0 last week. If you've seen Jose Diodo's Lee Sin in Academy, holy smokes, that guy has just put together unreal performances. They're going to be back in the LCS, and FlyQuest, I mean, their first roster change, that entire swap they made, it was beneficial for them. So at this point, I kind of have faith in their roster and their decisions that they feel like this is going to be beneficial for both teams, and feel like it's the push they need to, more importantly, make the playoffs for LCS, but also help that Academy team maintain the first seed, which they have now, which gives you a bye in the Academy playoffs, as you were referencing.
Exactly. Even if they go 0-4 this week, they're still in the top two. It is mathematically impossible for them to lose a top two spot. So very low pressure for this new roster, the third look for FlyQuest Academy that we've had. But honestly, it doesn't matter what FlyQuest Academy is playing, which roster it is. They've looked dominant throughout the entire summer. 10-2 in their last 3 weeks when it was the LCS team subbing in and the Academy team in LCS. Then we got about a mix of both, so we'll see what they look like here as they're trying to jive together. But they're up against Team Liquid Academy right now, who, again, third place, 1 game behind 100 Thieves. They are fighting for that bye. If you're able to pick that up, that's one less best of 5 that you have to play in playoffs. You're able to skip that first one and have a much better chance of making the run all of the way. So Team Liquid Academy, they're looking at FlyQuest saying, okay, maybe the best chance we have to take them down, as they could be in a weakened state with these new players coming in and a shake-up to the roster.
And speaking of Team Liquid and new players, I knew that Jenkins was going to be playing, but also Armeo slotting into Academy this week. So I'm curious, if you are a TL fan, if this means that maybe Santorin's feeling better from the migraines and is able to participate in LCS this week, or if Armeo is just on double duty. As, of course, both teams, there's been a lot of shuffles for Team Liquid Academy, and I know that talking with Ayla, I caught up with him before the game, and actually spoke a lot about kind of going through those changes and how, you know, they have had to swap up the play styles, just have, like, Armeo is one of their core shot callers, and Ori is more selfless, and so, like, trying to figure out synergy between the both of them was something that, for him, was something that he had to accomplish, but feels like they're still working on and is a work in progress, and feels like they're getting better. And for the third point, the last point, I always like to ask players, like, you know, anything else you want to share? And he just said the boys are back. So this is their main Academy roster, right? This is where they had the unfortunate early exit for Proving Grounds, but this is also the roster where they took second in the Academy regular season last split, and they won Northern Arena with. So he's feeling really good that everyone's back together, and we're going to have a lot to prove in this game as catching back up on the draft. Really flex for FlyQuest with that Tom Kench.
The Tom Kench logged in for FlyQuest. Team Liquid Academy drafting the Varus first on blue side. They also banned away the Ziggs, important to note, and still an Aurelia ban from FlyQuest Academy. Interesting there. But Team Liquid, something about this org, they just love this Trundle pick, but I do love it as well when you see a Tom Kench on the enemy team. That is a big tank that you need to shred through. And Trundle seems like one of those champions that will definitely help you actually kill this guy in those team fights.
Tom Kench also really struggles with terrain. The W can be canceled with the pillar. And so Team Liquid already taking a little bit of peel for themselves, but it seems like FlyQuest are trying to respond with a Lee Sin. Expected to go in the hands of NXI, who is 4-2 on that pick across both LCS and Academy this split. And that Aurelia ban, fun fact, Harry is an incredible Aurelia player. He's 4-1 on the champion this split, so I think FlyQuest paying some respects over to Harry, who, with these melee mid laners, has actually really come into his own, much like Triple has, as both these mid laners have been playing very well in this split. One of the reasons that both Academy teams find themselves on the top of the table, even if Triple's in the LCS for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Triple, let's see if he's going to skip a beat, though, coming back into Academy. It's been a while since he's been in here. Just a general note, Academy Games, a little higher tempo, a little faster pace, more kills in general than their LCS counterparts. So,
yeah,
that could have a change on the player's playstyle.
I mean, FlyQuest, when their squad was playing in the LCS, they're playing as fast as possible. So I feel like they're going to be just A-okay. And as we do hop back into the picks and bans, FlyQuest, it's looking like it's going to be a Lee Sin jungle as they're taking away Olaf. That's a counter to the pick, and they might be scared that it's a Trundle top response into a Tahm Kench.
That's what I'm feeling. If they want to, Xinjiao was already banned, I suppose, on the first round, but they go for the mage in the mid lane Cassiopeia ban instead. So further targeting Harry here.
And Cassio actually saw a pretty big buff on this patch. So Twin Fang, when it's maxed out, went up 10 damage. If you've played Cassio, you land a Q, you get to cast that like every half second. So that's actually a lot of damage back in Cassiopeia's kit. And so respecting that early, I'm curious if that means that it could be a lane Lee Sin, a mid lane Lee Sin, which Triple has played to some success. So FlyQuest keeping that flex open, whereas Team Liquid, they have that strong bot lane, trying to ban out some of the blind pick mid laners that FlyQuest might be leaning towards. Take away LeBlanc and Ryze, but it could be a Syndra that was buffed this patch once again.
Yeah, let's see if FlyQuest want to lock that one in. It means that it wouldn't be Lee Sin in the mid lane. That would be the Lee Sin still flex between the jungle and the top lane, because Tahm Kench could always go support. You never know. So FlyQuest, they do opt for it. They lock in that Syndra. Team Liquid now know the mid lane. They can try and answer it, but it's not going to be LeBlanc, Ryze, Lucian, Cassiopeia, or Aurelia. A lot of the champions that you'd want to play into Syndra are off the table here.
And for this comp for FlyQuest, I really like the fact that they're already just buying space for Kalista. All right, I'm going to drop all that because we have a Yasuo now. Holy smokes. Team Liquid, they need more knockups now. They have the FLYA, they have the pillar that they can land the Yasuo combo with, but this is a hard counter for Harry, and we're going to have to see if he can use it into the Syndra. It's TL. They have to show the rest of their comp now. Is that
feels like they also want AP.
Jungle? Yes.
They want something AP to help round out their comp. I mean, Gragas available. They're just, okay, no more knockups.
Yeah.
Jenkins gets his Kennen. So they're going for comfort rather than for full team synergies, full team setup. The Yasuo will need to set up a lot of these knockups himself unless the FLYA or the pillar do come through. Might be more of a pick tool now than a big team fight engage option.
This is the Jenkins special. He played it in their victory against 100 Thieves Academy last week. And FlyQuest now are going to respond. Dreams, we did an interview with him. He talked about how strong he thinks the new Tahm Kench is. Looks like that pick's going to go into his hands. Going to take the Jace to respond to that Kennen.
Okay, so range matchup in the top lane. Jace can heavily punish his Kennen once you get some lethality rolling in. Kennen can struggle because you're not a tank. You're pretty brittle yourself here. You're trying to poke out somebody else. That's what happens when you blind pick it. And FlyQuest holding onto that Tahm Kench flex. I like it because I prefer Tahm Kench in solo lanes right now with his current kit, but especially with a Kalista, this is still a fine pairing in the 2v2.
And for FlyQuest, it's all about the Syndra, oddly enough. The Syndra is the one that's going to bring the CC and buy space for the Kalista and the Jace to function. Team Liquid, they're going to be trying to attack that Syndra. The Syndra can prevent a good ultimate coming in from Jenkins on the Kennen. Syndra can stymie Harry in the middle of the fights on the Yasuo if the wind wall is off or you manage to land a good scatter of the week there. And so it's really going to have to keep our eyes on the triple. Can he land those stuns? Can he buy the space that the rest of his team needs to kind of lay down the rest of the damage? And can FlyQuest hit that one item early power spike where with the Kalista they're going to feel incredibly powerful?
They have a fairly squishy comp. They got the Tahm Kench as like the big beef ball, but everybody else, they could get blown up by this Kennen, by this Yasuo, by the lockdown of a Varus Thresh. So they're going to have to approach these rivers, these dragon fights, these Rift Herald fights very carefully, making sure that they're stacking up correctly, because either team can catch the other one out right now with the way that they've drafted. And what a way to start us off here. Team Liquid still fighting for that top 2 spot. They're one game behind 100 Thieves, who will be up against Evil Geniuses Academy later on today. They just need to have a good showing this week, have 100 Thieves drop a game or two. And Team Liquid could creep in. FlyQuest with a new roster, trying things out right now because, again, NXI and Triple, they had some time in LCS, and now they're back in Academy, back with, they didn't even have a chance to play with Philip yet, so this really is their first time back in Academy with a fully different Academy roster.
And for NXI, I mean, this is a player where obviously he was getting hyped up a little bit on the LCS stage when FlyQuest were sitting at that 4-0 mark. Of course, they dropped the next 5, but that's okay. NXI, for those of you that don't know the story of this player, he was pulled right out of solo queue about a year ago right now. He had to step into 100 next when Kenvi was promoted for Academy. Last week, if you were paying attention to the semi-pro scene, you would have seen EG lock up Tomio and 100 Thieves lock up Busio. That is what brought NXI into the fold last year. And watching him go from solo queue to being competitive on the best of 5 stage as a semi-pro player to winning the Scouting Grounds MVP to LCS and now here, it's a talent that FlyQuest are trying their best to develop, and NXI has been bearing fruit as he is a very talented player. And we're going to see what he learned on the LCS stage. He said he didn't learn, like, he learned some, but not too much. He's like, man, the players there are just, like, really good. And I got to keep on improving.
I guess that's what he learned, is that North American junglers do have a history of giving a hard time for the rookies coming in here. But NXI, he gets comfort back in Academy. Like we were saying, he's played a lot of Lee Sin across LCS and Academy, so at least he will know this matchup. But Armeo also plays a lot of Trundle. Even on the LCS stage, this was one of the mainstays in his champion pool. So feels like we got a lot of comfort between these two teams. So let's catch up on how the early game has shaped out so far. 2 minutes, 30 seconds into the game. Team Liquid's bot lane do get the early shove, and Trundle is pathing towards the bottom side, so should be looking for that Scuttle. I feel like we're just going to get a handshake of Scuttle Crabs here.
Yeah, both junglers pathing to different sides of the map, and overall, A-OK for TL, as TL, they really want to get Harry to level 6 and then start to try and attack this Syndra. As we talked about, kind of the linchpin of this composition for FlyQuest is making sure that Syndra is landing those big scatter of the weeks, buying space for the rest of her team to get the work done. Something that Triple will have to try and step up on, as this pick buffed less mana on the early Qs, which enables Triple to spam a little bit more. But Harry loves seeing him weave in the auto attacks in between the dashes and the Qs. You can see the Yasuo mechanics on this guy, very sound.
He's just going in for these little trades onto Triple, not hard committing,
he's in trouble
but
now, though.
Be in some trouble here. Yeah, scatter the weak.
Uh-oh.
There's the wind wall. Triple, can you land it? Has a backup from NXI, but NXI decides to back off. Harry runs towards Armeo and is chunked out. Will reset, but will not die.
We'll lose a couple creeps as Triple gets the XP advantage, and Triple will hit recall to try and match the TP from Harry, who will be forced to do so. As actually
stops though.
Yeah, stops by Armeo. So they're trying to force Syndra to burn that TP in response, as Harry's not going to slow push this. He's just going to leave the wave here to force Triple to TP back. If he did shove this out, then Triple could just simply catch the wave, base, and then walk back to lane when it's at an even state. But because Harry holds the wave, Triple does have to burn that TP. So Team Liquid getting that cooldown out as it is matched. Triple will have to keep on trying to take advantage of that range before level 6, where things get rather hairy for the Syndra.
Yeah, no pun intended, but still looking to trade onto Harry early on here. We also see top lane, Philip going for an earlier reset, gets that tier, hoping to stack that up earlier as this Jace going towards that 2-item power spike, and the lane will push back into him. So even though he's down in CS right now, he'll just cash right back up. Not a bad lane state for him. NXI could have been looking topside, as that's where he was pathing, but NXI also did a reset and is actually going towards the bottom half of the map now, just taking these camps off of respawn. And
no action in the jungle does benefit the Trundle, as once again, level 6 going to be very important here for Team Liquids, where they take advantage of a lot of the playmaking that they're going to have their hands on. As we're going to have to see if Harry and Armeo can sync up with the pillar combos for Yasuo. That will be fun to check out, as that is a very quick window to try and land that R. Will require some communication between both players.
Yeah, you got to let the Yasuo know. You're only knocked out for like a quarter of a second when the pillar comes out. So let's see if Armeo and Harry have that kind of synergy. And since it's a fairly slow early game, Cubby, I want to take some time for us to just set the stage, set expectations for the viewers, also for ourselves, as to what these team compositions are ideally trying to do here. Because it's exciting. We see the Yasuo with the Trundle combo. We're like, oh yeah, cool, they can do that. But like, when does this come online? When does this start to actually become a threat? And how should Team Liquid be looking to play through it? As I don't think we'll actually see a fight for these Raptors. Yeah, Armeo just decides to back away.
Once Harry gets level 6, they can look to use that combo to blow up, ideally, Syndra. Whereas FlyQuest, they're trying to really utilize the one-item spike that they have to take advantage of the strength of Callista and Syndra. But I must stop, because this is a nice dive point out from FlyQuest. See if they can execute it.
Already damage onto Jan. Triple has level 6! And the Unleashed Power gets first blood to FlyQuest mid laner. Triple, already the benefactor of the early dive. There's the death sentence onto Dreams, though. The wave will just be fine, though, so Dreams can walk away. Successful dive early for FlyQuest Academy.
Team play, once again, NXI and Triple working together. They invade the Raptors when Triple has shove. Triple had level 6. Harry did not under turret, so they just take that, walk bot, press R on Yawn, and despite burning both summoner spells, he still melts. As good setup coming out from FlyQuest, as that mid-jungle duo has been very solid all season, no matter what stage they're playing on. They prove it once again here. First blood goes over to Triple, off of a nice map setup coming out from them.
Also a full wave crash that Jan loses, so down 14 CS to Johnson here, and Johnson getting that assist gold as well, comes back to lane, has the completed Berserker Greaves plus the Vamp Scepter, and Jan just on scraps right now. Callista can take over lane states if you're ahead, even though Varus is typically known as a lane bully. So Johnson, let's see how aggressive you want to play this state of the game out from now. Hail of Blades. You can burst Jan down pretty quickly with this core items that you've already purchased. Teams also could look for a flank
Seems
right
like
now. I don't know. Now he just decides to walk back in. There's a big wave. Johnson wants to catch this.
Johnson could pull this if he wants. He's going to keep the wave there. Force TL to continue to overextend. Once again, it is an early Cloud Dragon for both teams, not taking the Dragon before that Herald window spawns. FlyQuest will have an opportunity to get shove in both lanes here if Johnson starts to manipulate that wave where it is crashed by TL. But for now, TL have priority, and FlyQuest are being wary of the cannon flanks, which they do have tools to deal with, but that is still something that TL could use to get back into this one. It is a small deficit, but the Jenkins cannon TP is definitely one to look out for, and if you've been following Jenkins and his play, you know how lethal his cannon is.
He goes for it all the time. Engage from Johnson.
Nice sidestep.
Fate's call, but hey, luck keeping Jan alive. Nicely done there, and a little bit of an overshoot from Dreams with the target selection. So that means Callista Ultimate will be down if this Dragon is the focus, but they do shove in the lane. NXI's near here, so is Armeo. Harry combo! Trundle Pillar with Yasuo Ultimate, but NXI's out. They didn't have enough damage to actually secure the kill.
You don't want to go on NXI for that with the shield, with the mobility that Lee Sin has. He can get out. Syndra's the target that you want, because TL commit those spells on the wrong member. Could be a window where FlyQuest NXI is looking to heal up and maybe look to take the Dragon. But Harry, as this matchup continues for the Yasuo, now that he has the Zerker Greaves, now that he can kind of Q-spam the Syndra in these trades and has more mobility to dodge out on the Qs, Yasuo starts to win this matchup with the win wall. And good to see Harry trying to take advantage of that. So I want to see Armeo get involved in the mid lane here, because he could try and turn things. And this is a mid-jungle 2v2 that could be explosive. We haven't really seen it yet. We've seen Triple and NXI working together to get the bot lane an advantage, but see if you can get a mid lane the advantage here. Is either jungle
Harry's just trying to pepper Triple up with some shots right now. This means that Armeo could look for it. On a ward, Armeo's on the Dragon, though, and FlyQuest Academy went for resets, so this will be a free objective picked up for Team Liquid. Maybe we can see a trade elsewhere, as Philip looks for an aggressive trade onto Jenkins. Doesn't get a Summoner Spell out, but NXI is on the top half of the map, so potentially a Rift Herald trade, but Team Liquid, they're on the map again, so I don't even think the FlyQuest can get an answer for that drag.
This is okay for FlyQuest. They get outscaled, but going for the Herald is something that they were able to secure. It would help them kind of bridge that gold gap that they lost with the Dragon. But it's good to see TL. They've been surviving a lot of the ults that FlyQuest have been throwing at them, like that Callista ult bottom, where they dodged out on the all-in, neutralized it for nothing. They've been kind of using those small advantages to get objectives, as they use that to secure the Dragon. They then take advantage of the fact that Triple still doesn't have TP on the reset, so Harry's able to now go back and kind of match TPs if they want to try and prevent the Herald being taken from FlyQuest. And Philip did crash a wave, so this is the window that FlyQuest can look for to try and secure this Rift Herald. If Triple shoves us out, TP's back, NXI goes on that after the drugs.
I'm just scared because Team Liquid have the combo again, the Yasuo plus the Trundle Pillar. So even if FlyQuest go for their Herald and try and start it up, Team Liquid can look to engage onto Triple no matter where he is. As long as he's within Trundle range, he's within engage range. FlyQuest do start up the Herald. NXI's on it right now. Triple's nearby, just hovering around. Team Liquid do start to approach. as Armeo is in the neighborhood, but Harry's actually looking towards the bottom river here. Dreams roaming up too. FlyQuest, they're doing a lot of damage. Team Liquid have to hurry.
I don't think Team Liquid... Oh, FlyQuest, they get
Jenkins
full
is
speed.
there.
Yeah, the Jenkins, the flank, they have to respect it. As Armeo, he just wants to reset this because he has members, but it is taken by FlyQuest. Can they get it now?
Does Dreams want to go in for it? NXI gets away from the engage, but Jenkins, ooh, nice kickback from NXI. Armeo's down! NXI follows him into the Rift Herald pit, and wouldn't you know, he wants to pick that objective up anyway. Doesn't actually grab it here. It takes a huge chunk from Jan. Will back off for the Herald Eye. Just to kill onto Armeo and the objective. Yeah, that's pretty good for FlyQuest Academy.
So, Team Liquid, they fight into a choke against the Syndra as Triple just presses R, hits Scatter of the Week, and shuts down the fight before it can start. And once again, Harry's going on to Lee Sin. NXI has the mobility to get out of that. He has to burn Flash this time around, but that's not the combo, not the target you want to go for. You want to get on the Syndra, prevent the Scatter of the Week combos from coming in, as TL, they're just pulling the trigger a little bit too fast. Not quite able to find it. Really good kick from NXI to get Jenkins out of there as well. As fighting in the choke against Syndra, really tough. She's so good at controlling space. And because of the mana buffs she got on this patch, she's able to contest the melees a little bit more, which gets her out of the early laning phase. And one of the reasons we're going to start seeing a lot more Syndra on 11-15.
Yeah, I'm just now realizing how hard it is for Jenkins to actually get into these fights.
Yeah.
The Scatter of the Week, the Dragon's Kick, Dreams has the Ultimate Devour as well. So even if you do manage to get past those two disengage tools, there's a Tom Kench that's just going to eat up whatever carry you're trying to engage onto. So Jenkins needs to find some better engages, maybe some better angles to engage from, because FlyQuest with a kill now on to Triple, as well as a kill on NXI. That's already Gore Drinker on this Lee Sin. They're getting aggressive, looking to engage, or invade rather, into the top jungle here. FlyQuest have the Herald. If they can pull off this dive, they should get first turret for it. Jan does have both summoner spells though, so Team Liquid's AD carry and support will be just fine here. I don't think FlyQuest can actually hard commit to this.
They are going to stick around, though, because if they slow push this and drop the Herald, they also have Triple, who burn TP to get that mid-wave priority to get involved in this play. So they're going to really try and go for it.
Nearby. That sentence in onto NXI. Lee Sin tries to jump out. Fate's Call pulls out Dreams, and that's teleports coming in from Team Liquid to try and answer the call. Pillar stops NXI's pathing initially, but he gets out just fine. The Team Liquid, they lose Harry's teleport for that, and they don't find much as an answer.
I think they were going for the Pillar combo, but didn't quite have vision yet, as that one found both Triple and NXI, but Harry, because he didn't have vision, was not able to press R. That control word was dropped later, and now Dreams. Yep, gonna have to burn Flash.
Well, yeah, that would have landed there.
Yeah, wrong path from Dreams. He gets punished for a little bit of greediness there on his part, but FlyQuest still looking for another place to drop that Herald, and importantly enough for TL, they prevented the Herald before plates, so that's a lot of gold that FlyQuest lose out on. Not able to drop that Rift Herald before the plates fall. They still can take first brick, as that is on the table for both teams, but TL at least prevent extra gold going into the pockets of FlyQuest.
Yeah, 14 minutes in, and there's only about a 1,500 gold lead for FlyQuest. Now, we talked about the importance of their early game and the scaling of Team Liquid earlier on, and I'm not fully convinced that FlyQuest Academy have, set themselves up enough of a lead right now. They still have the Herald, so there's still other plays that they can look for in the next couple of minutes here that can really balloon this lead into something bigger. But as of now, Team Liquid still have a decent team fight if they want to go for them. But they will not get this dragon. FlyQuest gave over the first one, but they will focus the second.
This is part of the good of Team Liquid taking that early dragon, as they can buy themselves 5 minutes, as this is the point of the game where FlyQuest, they are very strong. They have one item on nearly all their carries. This will continue for the second item as well, and I think after that, that's when TL are going to start to try and go for more of a footing on this game. They're waiting for that Kennen to get both a Proto Belt and a Zanya's. I think that might be the angle with the 2-item spike from Yasuo where they try and look to turn this game around. But until then, the map is FlyQuest, and they're taking advantage of it as they take down the dragon. We'll use that first Herald to knock down this bot turret. Should be first break.
And Harry's not even at one item, so it's going to take a little bit for Team Liquid to get to that 2-item power spike here, which means that FlyQuest have that window to go for plays like this. The Herald gets that turret. First of the game here. That's gold over to Johnson. Already had that Mythic edit completed, and we'll go for another reset now. So let's see what Johnson's able to pick up with this one. We almost have mythics for everybody for FlyQuest. I imagine that Triple with this reset will pick that up too. There's no big objectives to team fight over though, as the Baron will be spun in 4 minutes and the Ocean Dragon in 4 as well. So maybe just picks. Otherwise, we could be entering a slight lull state here, as a lot of times in Academy, teams aren't necessarily willing to go for plays unless it's around these objectives. Or maybe NXI and Triple have learned something new from LCS that they're going to show us.
I think you'd have to learn that play from like LPL or LEC if you want to go for plays while objectives are down.
Invade for the blue buff. Invade for the Gromp. Something.
No, that is an option. We talked about that in the last game for Golden Guardians, but I think this is going to be a quiet part on the map. And TL, honestly, they want it that way, right? I mean, they found themselves a 3-minute window where there's going to be no objectives on the map. And that's perfect for TL, as they can try and go for a side lane play against Philip, who get chunked out here by Armeo.
He's 2 levels up, though. Armeo still with Divine Sunderer chasing down Philip, and he gets the 1v1 kill. Woo, that's some damage from a troll. Now in the mid lane here, NXI looking to hard engage onto Jan. The Lantern gets him out to safety. Death Sentence onto Triple. And FlyQuest do not find the answer. Now they might be too far forward. Jenkins has the ultimate, has flash available. Watch for this cannon engage right now. But Dreams again. All he has to do is press R on Johnson, and Jenkins' entire engage goes down. So Team Liquid pull back.
I think they were waiting for a pillar, but Armeo couldn't get in range, and he sees that both top camps are available to him. So he's just going to go for this. Harry's defending the Raptors. Good team play coming out from TL. They don't go for the play, but they are trying to take advantages across the map. And because they don't go for the fight, they trade Raptor camps, and now this gives the second Herald over to TL, which they can use to break that mid lane turret.
Let's take another look at this 1v1, though.
Do we really have to?
I mean, you're 2 levels up as Philip.
It is, but Armeo, if you're able to get the chomp down, and this is one of the reasons that we're seeing solo lane Trundle come back, because you just steal stats.
He canceled the auto. He didn't even get the auto attack weaved in there, and he still killed him.
Yeah, he has that Sunder really strong at this point of the game, and if Jace isn't able to land poke, he doesn't really get to take those all-ins until he gets that 2-item spike, where he will be insanely strong. But until then, not the case. It's Harry looking to defend this.
Nice wind wall from Harry here. Throws out the tornado. Doesn't land onto Triple. So, no engage happens. But yeah, Triple getting chunked out there. Yeah, Armeo, the fact he's able to take these 1v1s now, I think it's also going to look rough for NXI in that matchup too, because yes, the Lee Sin will have a little bit more sustain in these fights, won't die as quickly. Armeo, he's just got that subjugate with no tanks, really. The Tom Kench at support, so not the beefiest member. So that really just means Armeo's going to go for whoever he's immediately on top of and just try and burst them down instead. And if you can find plays like that, that's a way for Team Liquid to get back into this game. They've closed that gold gap a little bit. They're back to that 1.5 differential, but with the Rift Herald picked up, this could turn into an even game state for the next Dragon.
TL have done a good job of kind of calming down the game, just getting minute advantages where, once again, when you have scaling, if you're able to buy time, it's a win. As it looks like Yasuo is going to be going for second item with heal cup, health, and a little bit of crit instead of the Infinity Edge. So he has gotten some healing reduction in his kit. Much needed against a Lee Sin and a Kalista. That will be his goal. It's going to be all about, can TL find the angle, find the Syndra. As front to back, FlyQuest wins this.
FlyQuest find the engage. And onto Armeo. The Trundle could be in some trouble, but they land the pillar combo, this time on the right target. It's on to Triple, who has to go into stasis immediately, but Dreams is already dead, so Triple's got no backup. Johnson trades 1 kill back, has to flash away. Looking to kite out, Death Sentence lands, and that's death for Johnson. Armeo's got the damage, and Team Liquid with 3 clutch picks. They're only trading Jan. Massive.
Yeah, they want Baron. They're going to go threaten this, and they don't care about the Dragon. They just want a huge fight. They found the angle on the Syndra. We were talking about how important that was for their compo. And a front to back. If Syndra lands those big scatter of the weeks, that's how Kalista and Jace can just lay out the free damage. Do you find Syndra right away like that? That was a big overcommit from FlyQuest, properly punished by Team Liquid Academy. They don't care about that second Ocean Dragon. They care about the Baron, and it's going to go over to them.
That was an immediately off spawn Baron, too. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. It took them that 30 seconds to burn this Baron down. Very early Baron for the game state, and FlyQuest Academy will trade for that Ocean Dragon themselves. Keep trying to stack this up, but that gold lead now slightly in favor of Team Liquid, but with Baron push, and they still have Rift Herald, So they can really make some big plays, but FlyQuest, I like this play. They're looking for a death brush now. If anybody from Team Liquid walks in, they're in trouble. Harry, though, not going to give them that opportunity. Realizing that the bottom jungle is very dark, backs off, and that means that Jenkins gets a free push topside. Armeo's here, too. Gotta imagine this Rift Herald's going down.
And this is a smart play from TL. Like, once you get Baron, if you just play in the lanes, usually you're pretty safe. And they recognize the fact that they sacked bot side control when they got that Baron. So, a lot of respect being shown here from the Academy squad as they continue to try and shove out, take down these structures. Jenkins does knock down that top tower. They're going to use the Herald to help them take 2 here in the mid lane, as they're going to force the Callisto ult, Bear Assault. That'll be a trade they take.
Exactly. Now Harry in a 1v2.
Harry feels okay here, yeah.
He's about to kill triple right now. Teleport coming in from Jenkins as well. Team Liquid
Good night.
catching out FlyQuest Academy in a side lane while also pushing into these mid turrets. Still with Baron buff, still with his Rift Herald.
Wait.
Dreams taking the abyssal voyage into 3 members of Team Liquid Academy and gets hard punished for it. This is going to be an inhibitor at 22 minutes in the game. Team Liquid with a massive turnaround from that early
third
game.
Charge.
Do they go for more?
Harry has
go
TP
for a
if they
third
want.
charge.
Oh, okay. Third charge does get
dead.
denied. Yeah, so Dreams went in because he thought that Philip was going to join him with a TP, but he TP'd onto the turret. It ends up getting taken down, which cancels that TP. A small mistake out of the young player. Cost Dream, kind of why that play from Dreams looks so funky. As Team Liquid are just going to reap their rewards. And man, Kangas, 3 minutes ago, they were down 1.5k gold. We were talking about how were they going to be able to set up for this dragon. They smash the fight. They take the Baron. They've already knocked down a bunch of objectives around it, got themselves an inhibitor. And Team Liquid, in 3 minutes, have secured themselves a 4k gold lead off of this 5.5k gold swing.
Massive Baron power play. With the Rift Herald, the Baron buff, that mid inhibitor down. Yes, that means FlyQuest Academy do get supers funneled into them. That's more gold in their pocket as the supers will clear out a lot of the minions, so Team Liquid can't farm mid lane that much now. But honestly, I still think you take that with this team comp, because they also got that bottom side turret. Got a little bit of chip damage onto the tier 2 as Jenkins 1v1ing NXI on the bottom half of the map, just playing nuisance on this cannon here in the side lane. And we're getting to the point of the game where these side laners for FlyQuest Academy not necessarily able to match the side laners from Team Liquid Academy.
That's the power of Yasuo, right? Once you get Yasuo going, he's at the point where he didn't go for the second item at Infinity Edge, but he has 80% crit with the 2 items he has, and we're seeing Harry take advantage of that. Just putting out that much damage against triple. Philip has to flash away from the Chains of Corruption from Yon, a trade of flashes.
Wow, looks like Jan might have flashed aggressively for that one.
Yeah, Philip was, though. He would have had the 1v1 and doesn't find the play, but finds Harry some time in the top lane to continue to drive home this advantage. He's going to try and poke out triple as they continue to target the Syndra. FlyQuest
Academy sent a couple members up top side to stop the siege there. This leaves Jenkins open on the bottom half of the map to keep pushing the bot wave. But FlyQuest Academy, for all intents and purposes, actually doing a decent hold right now. Team Liquid have not been able to push more. The Baron buff has expired. And FlyQuest Academy can just catch these waves. They do still have decent wave clear with the Syndra. Look at Jenkins on the flank here.
Okay.
The cannon could look for it. Doesn't have the flash yet. It's just coming off cooldown.
Yeah.
Now you got to be afraid of Jenkins on these flanks. But Team Liquid, they don't want to over-push. They don't want to push their luck. And it looks like they will go for resets.
Dragon spawning here in a minute. Team Liquid have already taken a huge victory across the map, so they're going to happily reset and try and set up for this Ocean Dragon, where with the mid inhibitor down and a Varus, it's going to be impossible for FlyQuest to contest. And if you are a fan of FlyQuest, I think we got to keep our eyes on NXI. He is the big playmaker on this Lee Sin for this team. And if he's able to find a sweet kick where they can chain CC Harry or take out Yon, they have other tools that can help deal with a Cannon Ultimate from Jenkins. So I think keep your eyes on NXI. If he's able to find something, that's how FlyQuest might be able to get back in this one.
Currently on the top half of the map, while Team Liquid Academy pushing through the bottom side. FlyQuest Academy have to roam through the mid lane here. Interesting lane assignments as they look to hard engage here. Johnson throwing Dreams forward, but gets chunked out for it. Now Harry with a re-engage. Watch for Armeo's combo here. Has the pillar available. Gets thrown back by triple, but it doesn't matter because Dreams is dead. Jenkins could flash that wall, but he holds back. Team Liquid will just take the pick on the support. Again, Super's mid. They have a hard bot side. They don't need to go for the dragon right now. Oh, nicely traded there. Oh, the pillar. Harry wasn't ready for it, but Triple might still just die anyway. Dragon's kick from NXI just to save the mid laner from Armeo. Not the best uses of FlyQuest Academy's abilities. They can get more value as long as they're not getting engaged on in that way, but Team Liquid Academy, they're finding a lot of advantages now as they also get that tier 2 bot turret. Presumably, we'll be looking at this dragon.
And because this kind of mid-game transition went sour for FlyQuest, it's so tough for them to fight this composition because they needed to secure that 1.5K gold lead and try and keep it, try and extend it with the spike of the Jace, of the Syndra at the moment. This is still the point of the game where their comp is strong, but now is when they get heavily outscaled. And the fact they're behind at this point, Kangas, makes this game really difficult for FlyQuest. So that's why we see them somewhat reaching to make these plays. But they did reset.
We do see the power spike for Philip, though. So the poke is actually still real for FlyQuest right now if they can land it, if they can get these combos. That's why we see them keep going for these death brushes here. Oh. But they're spotted out. Oh, yeah. And the arrow onto 3 members right there. And FlyQuest do not find it. But yeah, there's that chunk onto Jan. If Philip can keep weaving those in, that is how they can come back, because then NXI can go for the hero play right here. Massive burst from Triple. Just blowing up Jan. Armeo throws up the crab's head. I don't know what just happened there, but looks like Maiden Carry's dead.
That's the chunk from Philip. Something that I've been noticing, like watching Huni play Jace in the LCS, and Philip did a good job up there on the Jace, is that he's saving the empowered shock blast for when he's charging up, because Varus is slowed during this animation. And, oh boy, he walks into that queue. Dreams is following up.
Before Lee Sin Q landed, before Dreams Abyssal Voyage landed, like he was dead no matter what.
That was a big Q from Triple. As we mentioned the 2-item spike for Syndra, right on that mark. Triple's doing a lot of damage at the moment. FlyQuest need to find more plays like that to try and drag themselves back into this game. They still have options, but it's so difficult for them at this point. Just because, as you mentioned, Kangas, Harry in the side lane on this Yasuo, you cannot deal with him with just one member. You need to send multiple. And then Kalista at this point of the game, this is where she's at her strongest, so she kind of starts falling off. And even though Jan's on this poke Varus, if you're able to outrange FlyQuest and chunk him out, you just get control over these objectives. Something that FlyQuest, historically, one of their big strengths has been their objective control, but with this draft, it's so hard for them to manipulate, just falling behind at this point, having to deal with so many flanks, so many angles. Just haven't been able to set up properly how they usually do around the Dragons. And that FlyQuest Academy do very well when they find their wins.
It does feel like this could be the result of 2 players that were just on the LCS stage getting subbed back into Academy now with Johnson Dreams. Don't have a lot of experience playing with them. Philip, no experience playing with them. This isn't the same level of objective control from FlyQuest, but still decent mechanical play overall. They're not getting hard shut out here. They're just a little late on these rotations. Team Liquid Academy are playing the map a little bit better than them right now. And yeah, I mean, this is maybe growing pains from having to play with a new roster. The 3rd look for FlyQuest Academy in week 9 of Academy. But still, they got room. They are in first place.
Yeah.
They're at the top of the table. They could literally go 0-4 and still get the bye into playoffs. This is the moment where this roster needs to figure out, okay, how do we play League of Legends? What is our goal? Who are we going to play through? So far, it seems still like NXI triple combo.
And we're seeing remnants of, or signs of that, right? I mean, that dive they set up bot lane earlier was very well played across the map. I think the big difference in this one, something I've been very impressed by, is Team Nick was disciplined. They've played a disciplined game, which is a rare sight to see if you've been tuning into a lot of the Academy games, as most of these games are pretty bloody and over a kill a minute. But TL have been making good decisions, playing clean, and the experience of Jenkins and Armeo maybe at that next level also serving them well. We've been talking so much about FlyQuest and XI. I'm talking about them is TL looking to turn.
We could see the final engage here. Oh, the teleport immediately into the death sentence from Ayla. Perfectly timed from Team Liquid support. Now Johnson's all alone here on the side. Has the exhaust, cleanses it, still goes down. A double kill to Harry. And Team Liquid with some quick picks here. That's just going to be game. They have 5v3. They'll at least take this inhibitor and can now push for more. FlyQuest Academy They'll have to defend their Nexus turrets here as 3. Team Liquid Academy are posturing for the end right now. They will not have the Yasuo ultimate, but even as I say that, it's about to come back up. And that's Trundle on pillars. Can they get the wave cleared? Jenkins with the engage onto all 3 members. There's the combo from Harry, and everybody white from from FlyQuest Academy. Team Liquid, they did it. They're taking the game off of the #1 team in Academy. They are right on the heels of 100 Thieves, hoping for that playoff bye. They'll pad the stats a little bit more as they take down NXI. Philip jumps in. He wants to lengthen this game just slightly longer as he'll get over another kill too. But Team Liquid Academy looking clean with it, and they'll go up 1-0 in this series.
A beautiful, calm, collected, measured game coming out of the Academy squad. As Ayla said it, the boys are back, and man, did the boys look good there for Team Liquid as taking down FlyQuest. That's a squad that's been dominating Academy. They went 4-0 last week. Yeah, it was a different look, but it's still the same 3 members. And Team Liquid, a big win for them coming off of a 1-3 week of their own as they try and make a push to try and rival 100 Thieves for that other buy spot.
They're so close right now, Cubby. Team Liquid Academy, realistically going into this week, they have a decent shot of catching 100 Thieves, especially considering 100 Thieves Academy's look in the second half of the summer. They've been dropping a lot of games. They have a losing record in the second half of the summer. There is a very strong chance that Team Liquid Academy can take second again in the regular season and make that push here into the playoffs, getting that bye early on. That'd feel great for this team that, again, has had their own, swapping rosters. This is not an Academy team that was able to avoid those either, having to play with Armeo to start, then Armeo getting promoted up, Inori coming in, Jenkins swapping around, playing double time between teams on LCS and Academy. So it's really impressive that they've been able to have this kind of rallying performance here in the summer.
I mean, compliments to all the members of TL. I mean, even Dokla and Inori, who aren't playing in these games, but had great performances when they were on the stage in some of their wins. And, I mean, most importantly, though, compliments to the core, right? That bot lane and Harry.
Yes.
And, of course, Spawn kind of helping meld all these different rosters together. That's something that's not easy to do. For both of these teams going through a lot of the changes and trying to get as many wins they can in the LCS. But it's nice to see them have good looks, and especially for Team Liquid, that was a very measured game from them, something that I rarely say casting Academy, but that was controlled. It was good to see Harry and Armeo, even though working together early, they weren't finding the right members with that combo. They found it later, and Jenkins on the Kennen, it's 4-0 now in 4 plays, and it feels like you always have to be scared of him on this pick, man.
Yep. He gets banned against them quite a lot.
Yes,
and hey,
rightfully
I mean,
so.
Rightfully so. The measured play, I think we can also chalk up. Ayla said it to you earlier on the day, Cubby. When Armeo's in, primary shot caller, now coming in with more LCS experience as well. Armeo's had a lot of LCS experience, and I think that we're starting to see that reflected in Team Liquid Academy's gameplay. Let's see if they can bring us to a quick 2-0, or if FlyQuest Academy, a dangerous team in their own right, still first place, if they can pick up a win for themselves. We're going to send it to a short break here before we're back with game number 2 right after this.